Going to do a very brief little introduction about what this is about in case anyone watching is not quite sure where we're headed with this talk, and there will be ample time to ask questions if you guys have any. So essentially, we're bringing together 3 different regions right now, specifically for introducing Deep End Fitness, which is this company that is excited to pair with CrossFit affiliates and bring some pretty cool training opportunities to your athletes. So we've got Prime, go ahead and wave, from Deep End Fitness. We've got Shaye, and we've got Dawn. So they're all going to be sort of contributing to this and able to answer questions for anyone that may have some. As far as what I was hoping that this call could really highlight is, as you are growing your affiliate, you may start to add in classes that are not just group CrossFit, not just group fitness where the coach is up there teaching athletes through the warm up, the workout of the day, and the cool down. But maybe you're bringing in, a yoga instructor for a once a week yoga class or a mobility class. Maybe you do a running club on the weekends or at certain days, on certain weeknights. Maybe you have a Olympic lifting class or other specialty programs like this, and you're doing that to offer new things to your clients, keep them excited, draw them in with, other things they can improve upon and expand their fitness and keep improving there. But also by bringing in variety, you might cast a wider net as to who might be interested in being a member at your gym. I think a lot of us have seen gym owners fall a little bit stagnant when all they have is group coaching, and some members might feel like, I might want to get a membership somewhere else where I can also do XYZ for my recovery or for, going out and doing whatever other activities sound fun. So the way I look at Deep End Fitness and this partnership is another offering that you can provide to your members at your gym. So it doesn't mean that you need to have a pool at your space or anything like that. And the guys are going to get into exactly how this goes down. But if you're kind of questioning what exactly is this going to look like, that's how I at least categorize it in my brain. Is it's another specialty class that you can essentially put on the schedule and members can enjoy the benefits of that. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to the Deep End Fitness team so they can give you guys a little bit more information.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. Thanks everyone for having us, and thanks for the amazing intro as well. So first off, we want to just, elephant in the room, why CrossFit? And CrossFit's been a huge part of our community since we opened the doors at the end of 2017. And our community at this point is about 30% made up of CrossFit athletes and individuals. And it's really cool to see the cross-pollination between the communities. But that it's been amazing to see, the CrossFit community come out and be involved and see the ripple effect of that both ways. What the purpose of this call is to add an immediate value proposition for everybody within the CrossFit community where we have pools. So, and give you guys an immediate opportunity to add revenue and add widen your offerings, to add Deep End Fitness, which is the underwater training. And also one point is that when we explain this training or when we bring someone out for the first time, a lot of people now, what they'll say at the end of it is like, oh, so this is like CrossFit meets water, or this is CrossFit at the pool. And so we're like, yeah, that's a simple way to kind of explain what it is, but we got to show you, and that's kind of the thing. So we have about 30 locations or more right now that are active across the United States. And so any of those locations where we have a pool, we have a program, we have a community, we want to immediately be able to tie in CrossFit affiliates into those pools and be able to add a revenue stream by having CrossFit boxes send their members to a pool and then get a revenue split off of that. That's an immediate thing. There's other bigger opportunities that we're working on to partner on with CrossFit, but that's just an immediate thing that's low lift that we can offer right now. And our goal is to have close to 100 locations by the end of the year. So if there's an area that doesn't have a pool where affiliates are, there's a good opportunity that there will be a pool coming soon, or that there's one in the works right now. So with that, I'd like to pass it to my partner, Don, to go over some of the benefits.
Yeah. So as a CrossFitter, why would you want to use Deep End Fitness, right? And of course, it's a change of environment and inside the pool. which has all the benefits, the physical side of like the low impact training, but the intensity can be really kind of ramped up. And we take and draw a lot of inspiration from the CrossFit space on functional movements on the pool side, and then incorporate the water of it as well. Some of the mental benefits, though, is where we kind of make our money. And we ran a study with some CrossFitters as well last year that published in October that showed a significant decrease in stress, anxiety, and depression, and a major increase in like positive affluence. So what they feel about themselves, their community, and their surroundings. So that's some of the benefits that we wanted to highlight in that process. But the other thing is like really building that coping mechanisms of wanting them to do harder things, right? For us, when we go underwater, everybody has that kind of dive alarm or that stress response, like, hey, do I need an air source for now? Do I have the urgency to breathe? And kind of navigating that really kind of builds that CO2 tolerance level, which in turn helps you navigate and manage stress outside. And in turn, for the CrossFitters, help them kind of dive into want to do the harder workouts, the more intensity, and in staying in that realm. And then kind of to give you a little bit more insight on the CrossFit space and how we can collaborate, we brought Shaye in as well. He's with the team, and he's a level 3 CrossFit coach. So I'm going to turn it over to him to give a little bit more on the CrossFit space.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Yeah, so I fell into the pool, let's just put it that way, and in a good way. Why? Because I found Deep End Fitness for the exact reason that most of us take Thursdays off, to find a recovery form, right? And what I noticed was that the purpose of having Deep End Fitness as part and supplement to my training regimen was that I immediately noticed huge. I mean, if you have a Whoop, if you have a Garmin, like we in the CrossFit world, we live off of measurables, right? So for our members as well, if you think about it, that's what we refer to for them to actually also know if their fitness is getting better, besides what's on the whiteboard and all that. So I immediately noticed an increase in my HRV. I immediately noticed that my CO2 tolerance went up, which helped me perform better. And the most interesting thing, as an older athlete, and let's put all the GPP together as well, the benefits of lowering swelling because of the pressure, the hydrostatic pressure. Being in water is actually healthy because it helps. And I'm sure that a lot of our athletes can benefit from that, right? But when it relates to CrossFit itself, we've noticed that a lot of our athletes, when they're injured, either they'll continue to work out, right? And we're like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. They'll continue to work out. Or we'll see that they'll just stop using that body part. So let's say it's the lower body part, whatnot. We're offering them an opportunity to actually be able to continue to work out in a low impact environment, right? It's not gonna be as aggressive. And finally, I think that the most important point with the coping mechanism is our focus on the efficient breathing. When we were working this past month with HWPO, some of the athletes from there, one of the biggest things that we found was that their breathing pattern was just all over the place. So from moving from one movement to the other, obviously we're going fast, intensity is high, but there is a little gap where we can help our athletes, our members, to learn how to breathe better, which is translatable to the everyday life, right? So we can definitely see the parallel. As a coach, I apply all of my private sessions. Once a week, they have to go into the pool. All of my athletes go to the pool. It's not like I'll make a workout where they'll do part A, B, C, and D in the gym, but their WOD of the day is in a pool, right? Just so they can actually get the benefit of it.
Yeah, and Shay's moving to Miami in a few weeks to run our headquarters on the East Coast. And Florida's a huge jumping off spot this year. There's probably 10 to 20 programs launching this year in Florida.
Yeah, and then just to get a little bit more insight about like what a Deep End Fitness session actually looks like. So our typical session is around an hour and 15 minutes. 15 minutes on land, and then an hour poolside and in the pool. So on that 15 minutes on land, we'll go into the safety brief first, make sure everybody's aware all the safety procedures at that specific pool. Then we'll go into what we call the circle of trust. So we'll create an environment where all the athletes introduce their name, their swimming background, so the instructors and the coaches know their levels of swimming, abilities, and then go into their personal goal or their intention that they're trying to achieve that day. After that, we'll go into some dry land breath work, some upper regulation, down regulation, help them to understand how to control their breathing patterns even when they're gassed out, and then go into some type of breath hold capacity when they're actually on land. After that, we'll go into like a skills builder portion, or, you know, like in the CrossFit world, a strength kind of workout, or working on specific skill set that they're going to be using during the WOD actually in the day. And then the last portion of it is going to be that 20 to 30-minute kind of workout. And then we close out with a circle of trust again. So biggest takeaway for the day: what did you learn? If you didn't achieve your goals, what can you take on to next time?
So we have our partners across the country in the 30 plus locations. There are affiliates. We call them licensees or partners. So to affiliate a pool, that's not something that we're focusing on this call, but we have two of our affiliates or licensees here: Mike G, who affiliated the Carlsbad pool, and Christina, who runs the Oro Valley pool in Tucson, Arizona. But I wanted to give an opportunity for Zia to speak on her experience and in that model for sending members and getting a percentage of the revenue, because I know Christina and some others are interested in that.
Hi guys, I'm Zia. I own CrossFit Counter Culture in San Diego, and I actually partnered with Mike G's location in Carlsbad. And it's a really good addition to our program. The members were super pumped about it, and it was a great revenue share for the facility. We did once a week classes exclusive for our gym, and then they'd sign up through us, and then I would just work, add that out with him monthly. They really liked it. We have members that now travel to other Deep End Fitness locations to do it more often, and it is a great complement to the CrossFit program.
Yeah, thanks, Zia. One of the things that I've seen over the years, like, so 6+ years, we've done a lot of trainings with Invictus. We've done a lot of trainings around San Diego with lots of CrossFit gyms, and the value that we see with Zia, with these other gyms, is that, this is non-load bearing. So especially if you've never touched this training, the growth that you're going to get out of it when you touch it is going to be crazy. You're going to have your best night of sleep. You're going to have all these things happen. You're going to have recovery hit on all these different levels that you haven't experienced. You're going to have the hydrostatic pressure that Shaye talked about. You're going to get a flush where you can go to the pool completely sore and beat up, and you can hang out at the bottom. And then when you leave, you feel fresh. There's all these different types of benefits, but non-load bearing, recovery. And what I say is you can hit a lot of birds with one stone and maximize your time over an hour and 15 minutes, where even if it's a recovery day and I'm just going for recovery, I can put myself in a survival situation when I go underwater. That's a real opportunity for me to train my mind to be more resilient, work on all these things, practice mental focus, do all these things. So even if I'm not there for a hard workout, I can get all these benefits from it that increase my abilities as an athlete. In the box, outside the box, like everything that we do at the pool is to increase your performance outside of the pool and build your confidence.
So you want to open up for questions of anybody?
Yeah. So Katie, unless you want us to cover anything else, I would love to open it up to questions.
I think that's a great first start. I know I wrote down some questions, but I want to leave it up to the other affiliate owners that are listening. And then if anyone would want them to expand on anything, I kind of let the team know that brief and to the point at first. And then if there's anything you want more information about, they're happy to expand upon. So.
Yes. And just like to put out, like, anybody of the affiliates that see this will obviously have all of our contact, but we'd love to follow up with anybody that wants more information on any of this.
Yeah. Mike, did you have something to add or a question?
Yeah, no, I just think like we could get super sciencey with this stuff, but anybody, if you're on this call or you're watching, like, you've done CrossFit and obviously live life outside of CrossFit. And I think what most people tend to find is that your emotions control how you think and how you breathe. Right. Like, so like, you're nervous, you're scared, all these things. And all of a sudden you start to breathe really heavy and you start to think these negative thoughts. And then it all becomes this massive cycle negative thought and decreased performance. And what you get out of the pool is you get to understand, well, actually you have control of how you breathe, and you get control of how you think. And then that actually starts to affect your emotions, right? So now if I can control my breathing and I can control how I think in a stressful scenario, let me tell you, the water's stressful. It's a very controlled but stressful environment. And it's there for a reason, because it's controlled and it's stressful, right? So we can teach you to be in a controlled and stressful environment. We can teach you how to think better and think more thoughtfully and calmly in this situation. And then we can teach you how to breathe more effectively in between events, or prior to an event, or after an event, or whatever it might be. And those are all going to change. Like how we do things on the side of the pool leading to the workout is going to be different than how we teach you how to breathe in between sprints or breath holds, compared to how we teach you how to breathe following a long event, right? So you can take one, how you learn how to think in a stressful environment, two, how to control your breathing in a stressful environment, and then you can start to apply that to different situations. So what I've learned is I've learned how to breathe for myself in between lifts to make me more effective at lifting, right? So when I'm finished lifting, how am I going to breathe so I can get my nervous system to calm down? When I'm approaching the bar, how am I going to breathe to get everything to come back up, right? If I'm in the middle of a workout and I'm transitioning between movements, how can I get myself to calm down so as I get into that next movement, I'm not panicking, I'm ready to lift, I'm ready to do whatever is in front of me. Or as I'm, completing the workout, how can I down regulate, all those different things. So all that can be applied. A lot of stuff that I learned in the pool that I learned how to apply into the CrossFit class. But not only CrossFit, like this stuff has helped me in, all aspects of life, whether it's parenting, traffic, work, everything from, climbing Mount Whitney to, skinning up a mountain and snowboarding down, like all this stuff I've been able to apply to a lot of different scenarios in my life, just because in that environment, like you're forced to learn how to do it. Right. And then you can figure out how you apply it to other aspects of your life. And I think that's a really, really cool part of the program. That's what attracted me to it and made it so meaningful in my life.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for sharing that. One point, or one thing that I thought of as you were sharing that, Mike, is that, it's like that saying, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And when you take an athlete's breath away, whether it's a UFC fighter training or an NFL player, like training for their specific thing, or a CrossFitter, you take that away and then you give them, recovery opportunities in between taking their breath away. They're going to find ways to breathe that they've never seen before, that they've never experienced, that they've never found ways to down regulate that fast. They've never have, because they've never been put in a situation where they weren't breathing. Now they only have this much time to recover. And yeah, they might look crazy the first couple of times that they're doing it, but they're going to figure it out, and they're going to get a new tool belt in their system for recovery.
Yeah, for sure.
Gordon, do you have something? I thought I saw you jump on earlier.
Yeah, I did. So we have a pool down at a facility, maybe 5 minutes from my gym. And you touched a little bit on it, right? And I love using it as the recovery aspect, but I'm more geared towards it from the psychological aspect. How do you approach it and not intimidate your members with being like, hey, it's going to be a recovery day, but we're also going to take a psychological approach to that? Because I think that is something that's very missed in general population classes.
That's a great question. And if you look at our Instagram, you look at some of our videos, it's kind of like, wow, that's a lot. You're showing us like, someone like, that's like showing someone that's starting CrossFit like a games athlete going full speed. So it's kind of deceptive in a way, but the way that we break it down is crawl, walk, run, like systematic building block approach. So if I have a new group, even if it's a bunch of SWAT guys or something, it's like, hey, I know you guys look a little bit, concerned right now because you've never done this before, but I want to put you at ease, and that I'm not going to put you into anything that you're not ready for. And that we're going to start off in crawl phase, and we're going to build this together until we're ready to go to the next level. And we're going to build that trust both ways. And then we're going to systematically build up. This might take us, every week we're going to get better, and it's going to click. So we've seen really 2 to 4 weeks that this clicks with people. Even someone that's not a very good swimmer, we teach non-swimmers. The whole program is built off of water survival, military water survival. So we train people to survive in the water without even knowing to swim, and we can do that very quickly.
I was going to
So
ask, is there a minimum swimming requirement or no?
you don't need any. You just need to show up and bring a bathing suit and a pair of goggles. You can remember that.
I am the worst swimmer there every week. Like, I am on borderline drowning at all times, and I still have a great time, and I get better each time, but I am the worst by far. And it's totally doable, and it's literally scalable. Just like CrossFit, it's scalable for anyone. Like, I'm good with like the moving around stuff, but if you want me to swim, they're like, oh, you better watch this one right here.
I'm a little bit curious. I don't know if Zia would have input on this as the affiliate owner or Mike as someone that runs the classes, but what kind of baseline tests you guys either do on site at the pool, or if you recommend to an affiliate owner, like, hey, if you have an interest, you're going to start this class, I recommend doing this baseline workout and then retesting it after. And I know, attendance at the Deep End Fitness classes, you can't control that. Maybe some people went religiously every week and others didn't, but do you guys have any recommendations for that? And maybe it's like, nope, just CrossFit, you'll start to see the improvements, but sometimes those kind of things are cool for members to see.
Like prior to coming into the pool, what should they do?
We're going to start this program. We're going to kick it off. It starts next week. So we're going to do Helen, and we're going to do Randy, and then we're going to retest them. I feel like you could choose any, but I was just curious if you guys have done anything like that, and if it would be, I don't know, cool experiment for them to see the improvements in the gym as well.
I don't know if, Don Prime and crew have, but the thing that they have built into the program that's really effective is just the basic screener. You can learn a lot. Like,
you guys do something at the pool, kind of
at the pool, like it's a basic screener, and it's super. It's I'm not gonna say it's super easy. That's not what I mean by what I mean by easy is that it's very simple and very easy to scale, right? So, I mean, the cool thing about a pool is there's a wall. So if there's 5 minutes of treading and you're struggling, like, you're not going to drown, you just grab the wall, right? And we'll walk you through it, make sure you calm down, give you some pointers. Like, it's coaching just like CrossFit, right? So even when you think treading water, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it very effectively. And the cool thing is, like, when everybody's sitting there in front of you in the water and you have one, safety coach in the water and you got the other one on the side of the pool looking down, like, you can see everything. And there's a lot of cool communication that goes coach to coach as well. But maybe the hardest thing is when somebody's treading water and they're panicking a lot, is trying to get them to understand what you're saying and having them do it, right? So you go to the wall, hey man, this is what you need to do, cup your hands, long, slow movements, stay nice and controlled, get them out there, give them some pointers. It's the same type of coaching you'd see in the gym, right? A lot of looking for the right things, telling them, how to improve it, and then giving them feedback.
That's great. So there's some things that repeat when they go back to the water the next week.
A lot of skill involved that's
true.
Put into every single class, right? And each class might be different. It might be a more, water-based focus, or breath holding focus, or a sprint. Each class is cool because it can have its own like style and goal within the class. It's intended stimulus, if you will, CrossFit terminology. But there are a lot of very common skills that you're going to see pop up a lot and consistently be refined. Underwater crossovers, different swimming skills, treading water, bobs, obviously breath holding, how to think through breath holding, how to stay calm, different feelings you're going to get, how to work through those feelings so that you can push through those. There's a lot of repeated skill sets that are consistently being improved, which is cool because they're benchmarks.
I love that. I'll stop if anyone else has more questions, but I have plenty to keep going. Does anyone any of the affiliate owners want to chime in? Amy, do you have anything? I'm happy to keep it going.
When as I was pitching this and trying to get people on this call and talking to a lot of CrossFit affiliate owners, they were just really always curious about what the relationship between Deep End Fitness and that CrossFit affiliate would be. So I'll give you an example. That CrossFit Tribe, which is in Los Alamitos, our friend Warren is he owns a box and he also owns the Deep End Fitness. But how he started the relationship before he owned both was he paid the Deep End Fitness licensee, I think, $500 per session to open up 10 seats per that class. And in turn, he upcharged his members from like $150 to like $185 a month instead. So that $35 gap, he had 200 members or almost 200 members, and they had like 80 something members attend the Deep End Fitness as well. So in turn, he was making close to like 4,000 and paying the Deep End Fitness sessions around like 1,800 for that month kind of thing, depending on the attendance came in. So that's one way to do it. But the easiest way that Brian was talking about earlier is just that plug and play, like you can do per member or whatever that discount is, and kind of share that membership. And then in turn, some of the Deep End Fitness members would go over to the CrossFit box as well and kind of do that and kind of build that bigger, wider community.
So in that second way, and I think Zia, this is what you do. The members are told about, promote, you promote the class, but the members pay directly at the pool, Deep End Fitness or online or whatever. And then
Yeah,
Deep End Fitness sends a kickback to the owner. Is that Zia?
essentially.
Yes. Yes. And for anybody that like, hears this, wants to get involved with a local Deep End Fitness partner or affiliate in your area, you could have your own, it could be CrossFit, your CrossFit box has that session every week, and it could be strictly for you, or it could be a blended class where you just send however many members and it's an open class with whoever else that comes out.
And Katie, if I can give another suggestion to y'all as well, I've never been an affiliate owner, but I've been a general manager, and I understand that increasing revenue is the key, on all points. And one of the groups I think that's always forgotten are the coaches, right? Because if you have happy coaches, you have happy owner and happy members and everybody, right? So one of the other possibilities as well is reaching out to your coaches and extending that and saying, hey, if you bring them, you suggest this, if they come in and they're registering, right? Let's say like the model that Zia did, the gym is going to be having a session. It's like, hey, Gordon sent over 5 people this month. Hey, Gordon, I'm going to kick you $5 a person. Right. So it gives them incentive to buy it. We did this at my last gym when I was a GM there, and it worked really well because they were bought in, but it helped them also talk about it. Because I noticed as a GM, a lot of times, and you all have probably seen this too, when you want to implement something and the coaches, they don't talk about it in their session at the whiteboard talk. You're like, dude, you got it. Come on, the announcements, right? Yeah, you're all laughing because you've all been there, right? And I think that's a really cool way of integrating this with the coaches as well. When I first started going to Deep End Fitness, I took over 40 to 50 athletes with me. And just by talking about it, because I was bought in. Unfortunately, this model that I just told you about, I did not have this agreement. So I did not make any money. But the whole point is that we can definitely stretch this arm, to not just the affiliate, but also to our coaches as well, right? To professionalize that coaching.
So what would it cost for someone to, and does it vary depending on state, but what does it cost for someone to come and pay to take a class at a Deep End Fitness?
That depends on locations, because they're just like an affiliate as well. They can make their own prices for that. But in Southern California, on average, it's been around $25 to $40 per session. Out in Florida, it's probably around 20 to 35 ish. So it just depends on the area that they're doing that.
What we generally tell people is that you have to do a little bit of the groundwork, right? And like research what are the drop-in rates for multiple different modalities, and then try to find that average, and then maybe add like $5 extra or whatever, depending on the price of the pool as well, right? So that'll always factor in, but that's what we try to tell everybody to do is see what everyone's charging more or less, and then play around with that.
What is the split to the affiliate owner? Should they send a member over? Say we do it that way, the way Zia does it. Is the split the same across the US? Is that vary?
That's going to be dependent on the affiliate as well. So we don't want to put any crazy numbers out there and put that. It's up to them. But we if you guys want to give us a call, we can definitely give recommendations on how that's structured across a few of the CrossFit affiliate and Deep End Fitness licensees that we've seen so far.
Yeah, our goal is to make it a win-win. So like after this call or anybody that we get connected with, we're gonna be negotiating with the affiliate and our partners to make the best deal possible.
And it sounds like the reason for that is because pools cost different amounts of money depending on where you're at. And
do.
so because of variable costs, just to clear the air, I don't want to sound like, well, we got to figure out what each affiliate gets. It's because your costs are variable. It's
Yeah.
not a uniform thing. I think that makes a lot of sense. What if someone is in an area where there is not, like, they're in these regions that you guys are expanding, you know, specifically on the West, California, we're talking about Miami and probably even beyond that. And then even in the South, I think you were saying Texas maybe might be one of the first places. So say there's not a pool nearby that is Deep End Fitness certified. What would be the steps there? Can they suggest a couple of pools in the area and you guys look into expanding there? How open are you guys
Yes.
to that?
We're 100% open to that. And that's a lot of how our model has worked in the past, you know, is people have demand signal in an area. They're like, hey, we have a pool right here. Then that, but you know, now we're in the process of starting a new location. So we're totally open to that. Yeah.
Awesome. And then what kind of materials do you guys provide to the affiliate? I know we have an article you guys shared with me that I put in my newsletter, and I'll be putting it in my next newsletter as well. Any materials that the affiliate can use to educate their clients, whether it be articles, videos, social media posts, and also really to market this, to like make it big. Do you guys work with the affiliates on that kind of stuff, or can they find it on your website?
Yes. And we like with this and specifically, we're building a CrossFit deck that we could send out as an informational deck for all the affiliates as well.
People
But
probably have a lot of pictures of the pool to post or put on their website, and that would be really helpful, I'm sure, if they want to add this.
yes,
Yeah, we
and
have a bunch of content.
yeah, anything that's requested, we'll do our best to facilitate as well. You brought up a good point earlier, Katie, with the idea of like a study for CrossFit, where Shay actually had this idea a couple months ago. We should actually do this. This should be a follow-up thing where we pick a gym and we do those baseline workouts, and then we train for 1 to 2 months and then revisit those workouts and see what the change is.
Could be really fun. I mean, I think any affiliate could just do that if they're interested in this. I know I'd want to do that. I'd be like, cool, anyone that's interested in starting this program, we're doing these baselines anyway, because we already test for CrossFit. I want to make sure my clients are improving, period. And then I'd be like, special notation that these 10 are also going to the pool. I want to see how things change. And I think that stuff's fascinating.
The last thing before everybody gets off is, this is a shameless plug, but we have a fitness competition, a hybrid athlete competition on April 27th. It's like a track event with a weight vest, a field event with sandbags from GoRuck, and then a Deep End Fitness event.
Where's that?
Coronado, April 27th.
Fun. Zia, you're going to do that? No.
But
She was just like, no, not at all.
You didn't have to come off mute. She's like,
No,
This
I
is
was
our
gonna go
first-
watch.
yeah, you should definitely come out. I'll be there as well.
that's huge. That's Coronado. Let me know. I can post about that on the West Coast Instagram, see if we can get some more affiliates out there or to spectate or send some athletes. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, we're gonna build, like, that event looks like it'll be something that builds really big year after year. But look, we're super stoked about that.
Super fun. I love it. Does anyone have any other questions? I feel like I asked all my questions.
Yeah, I mean, I like just want to give you all of our contact information, you know, and I know you probably have most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely, you guys can say your emails, but we will have access to that. So anyone that's listening, be sure to contact your affiliate reps and we can give you everyone's email address. And the handle on Instagram, is it at deependfitness?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was like, I've tagged it before. So check them out there. Oh, Christina, do you have something to add or question? Your hand got put up. I don't know if that's an accident.
I do.
Probably from waving.
Thanks,
good.
Katie. I actually have a question for Zia, and it's related to this is more logistics, and Don was touching on, right, the pricing matrix, and that's obviously on my mind as the Tucson licensee. I'm meeting tomorrow with a CrossFit owner, and I was thinking about timing of classes. And so we are a supplement, right? We're not a replacement. And, you know, we are at the mercy of pool schedules, and I'm working on my spring summer schedule with the pools. And I'm thinking about the best possible times to run a session, whether it's weekly or we're doing it once a month. And if Zia has anything from her best practice model on when to schedule these out so we're not conflicting with the actual CrossFit schedule.
Yeah, I mean, Thursdays and Sundays are like historically a good rest day, which is when the 2 days that I was set it up for us. And then I found doing it every week for us was a little bit much. Less attendance every single week. It just was too cumbersome for the members to, let me add $150 to your existing monthly membership. But Sunday mornings were the best for us. But I feel like that's going to be different for every single gym. Each community is going to be a little bit different. My community is older, so they don't mind the early mornings, like before kids have, all of their things going on. But I pitched it as a great recovery activity to do with the community. So Sunday mornings for me was like ideal and perfect. But that's going to vary on the community. Each CrossFit community will be completely different. So I think the needs would be different. Like if you contact 3 or 4 gyms, they might be completely different.
Yeah. And I mean, getting CrossFitters outside the box to come to the pool, and then it creates a powerful thing that when they go back, it's like, obviously more of a community thing because they're going out and doing stuff together. And that's the same with us, but what we've seen is like weekends, like a Sunday. I would choose Sunday, Christina, over Thursday, just because weekends build community too. Because afterwards, you guys could go eat, you could, whatever, and then that reinforces that relationship and community aspect.
Great, thanks.
Well, I want to thank you guys. I don't know if you have anything else to add. Deep End Fitness, anyone on the team? Awesome.
Go CrossFit.
Go CrossFit. We're going to wrap it up so that we don't have an hour-long recording for people to sift through. But again, if you're interested and you want to get a hold of these guys, that's your best bet to get even more details and questions answered and find out. You can search pools that are already certified on the website. I don't know if that's up to date. I've checked it. There's quite a few in California, at least, that's up to date. But if you're like, there's none near me, definitely reach out. I don't know the timeline for getting a pool certified, but start now if you're interested and you know of some in your area. Let Deep End Fitness get out there and get this program in your area. Could be awesome.
Let's go. Thanks, Katie. Thanks,
Katie.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.
Too.